In my last class, I have explained about instrumentation of UV visible spectroscopy. In this, I am going to explain detectors of UV visible spectroscopy. It is very important topic. Let's see. Here, UV visible detectors are also known as photometric detectors. This is an important thing. Here, UV visible detectors are also known as photometric detectors. When radiation falls on sample cell, a part of radiation absorbed and remaining is transmitted by the sample solution. That we know that. Okay. Here in the UV visible instrumentation, what will happen? Here, whenever radiation falling onto the sample cell, a part of radiation absorbed and remaining radiation is transmitted to the sample cell, which will fall onto the detector. The transmitted radiation will fall onto the detector. Okay. In this UV visible spectroscopy, the transmitted radiation falls on the detector. Okay, falls on the detector. Based on this, then intensity of radiation is absorbed is determined and displayed. Whenever the transmitted radiation coming from sample which will fall on the detector, okay, based on the transmitted radiation, the detector measures the intensity of radiation absorbed. Okay, here then intensity of radiation absorbed is determined and then displayed. Okay, in this UV visible spectroscope, UV visible detectors, the light energy is converted to the electrical signal. Means here here the light radiation coming from the sample. Whenever the light radiation coming from sample falling onto the detector, it will be converted to the electrical signal in the detector. The light radiation converted to the electrical signal form in the UV visible detector. Okay, here generally four kinds of detectors are commonly used, are known as UV visible detectors. Those are barrier layer cell, okay, barrier layer cell, and the second detector is phototubes, and third one is photomultiplier tube, most important one, and fourth one is photodiode array detector or PDA detector. Let's see one by one. This is barrier layer cell. Barrier layer cell. I will tell you why it is known as barrier layer. Okay. Here, this detector is also known as photovoltaic cell. Photovoltaic cell. Here, let's see the construction of barrier layer cell and photovoltaic cell detector. This is the photovoltaic cell detector. Okay. Here, this one, bottom one. This one is metal base plate. Here, it may be made up of iron or aluminium. It acts as a one electrode. It acts as a electrode. Okay. Here, on the metal base plate, thin layer of semiconductor metal is deposited. On the metal base plate, thin layer of semiconductor metal such as selenium. Here selenium acts as a semiconductor, we know that. Selenium is deposited on metal base plate. Okay. Here then selenium is covered with silver or gold metal. Here upper one is selenium, bottom middle one is selenium layer. Here selenium layer is covered with silver or gold metal. Here this one upper one is a silver or gold metal. Okay, overall you can see the arrangement is like this. The arrangement is like this. Okay, here bottom one means, okay, you can see this is the bottom one metal base plate which may be made up of iron or aluminium. It acts as a one electrode, metal base plate. Here metal base plate is surface is covered with thin layer of semiconductor metal, that is selenium. Here selenium layer is deposited on the metal base plate. Okay, semiconductor metal deposited on the metal base plate. Then on the semiconductor metal, here silver or gold metal is deposited. Okay, silver or gold metal is deposited. Here the upper one acts as a one electrode and bottom one acts as a one electrode. Here the between, that is semiconductor metal, that is selenium, it acts as a barrier between these two electrodes. The selenium acts as a barrier between these two electrodes. That's why it is known as barrier layer cell. Okay, you understand? Okay, here the selenium, it is arranged between the two electrodes. Okay, arranged between two electrodes. Okay, let's see, and it also consists galvanometer. Okay, galvanometer. This is about construction, and let's see the working principle of barrier layer cell. Okay, barrier layer cell. Here you can see here this is known as radiation coming from sample falling onto the detector. This, okay, red line. Then see the working. When radiation incident upon the surface of selenium, okay, electrons are generated at selenium silver interface. Okay, when radiation incident upon the, okay, surface of selenium. Suppose you can see here, you can observe here this is the selenium. It will be arranged like this. Here middle one is selenium. the radiation, transmitted radiation coming from sample fall onto the selenium, middle one. Okay, selenium layer. Okay, whenever radiation falling onto the selenium, the electrons are generated from the selenium. Electrons will be generated from the selenium. Okay, then these electrons are collected by the silver. These electrons are collected by the silver. Okay, whatever the electrons generated from whatever the electrons generated from the selenium, you can see here these electrons are collected by this electrode. Okay, collected by the silver. Okay, you can see these these lines are electrons generated here. It will be attracted towards the silver, means one electrode. Okay, then accumulation of electrons on the silver surface creates electric voltage difference between silver surface and metal base plate. Here whenever electrons whatever the electrons forming from selenium, it will be attracted towards anode. It will be attracted towards silver. Okay, here all the electrons generated from selenium will going towards silver, means all the electrons will be accumulated at silver only. Here in this electrode, here bottom metal base plate, here it acts as electrode and it one also acts as electrode. Here all the electrons are placed at this silver electrode. There is no electrons present at metal base plate or iron or aluminum electrode. Here due to this electronic difference, here potential difference will be existing between these two electrodes. Okay, here due to the accumulation of electrons on the silver surface, what will happen? It creates electric voltage difference between silver surface and metal base plate. Okay, due to this, what will happen? Here between these two electrodes, okay, electric voltage difference will be occur. In other words, electric voltage or potential difference will be occur between these two electrodes, because here are silver electrode having all the electrons. All the electrons will be accumulated silver electrode. Here no electrons are present at metal base plate. Due to this, potential difference will be existing between these two electrodes. This potential difference will causes current flow. It causes current flow. Okay, whatever the current flow, it is directly proportional to the intensity of radiation absorbed. If you measure the current flow, that gives direct information about intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample. If you measure the intensity of radiation absorbed, that is directly proportional to the concentration. The intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample measurement gives concentration of the sample present in the solution. Okay, this is about barrier layer cell. Here barrier is, here selenium layer acts as a barrier between these two electrodes. Here you can see, here electrons are formed from selenium layer and moving towards anode. Here then all will be accumulated between selenium silver interface. You can see this mark is indicating here electrons are accumulated between these two interfaces. Okay, this is barrier layer cell. Then second detector is photo tubes. It is also known as photoemissive cell. Here this is the construction of photo tube. Here you can see this is the evacuated tube, photo tube or evacuated tube. This tube consists, you can see it consists evacuated glass bulb. Okay, here this is the evacuated glass bulb. Inside the bulb there is a light sensitive cathode in the form of half cylinder. Inside the bulb there is a light cylinder cathode. Here this is the cathode, light sensitive cathode. Here this is the cathode. It is in the form of half cylinder only. Here this cathode is made up of, okay, coated with cesium or silver oxide. Okay, here this cathode is coated with cesium or silver oxide. Then metal ring is inserted at the center of the tube. It acts as a anode. Okay, here it is a tube. At the center of the tube, we inserted one metal ring. Okay, this is the metal ring. We inserted one metal ring. This one acts as a anode or collector anode. It acts as a anode. Okay, this is the evacuated bulb. It consists one light sensitive cathode. Because here this cathode is made up of light sensitive metal, that is cesium or silver oxide. Here at the center of the tube, a metal ring is inserted. That acts as a anode. This is about construction, and it also consists amplifier, radio output device, and power supply. This is phototube construction. Let's see the working principle of phototube. Whenever radiation incident upon the cathode, electrons are generated. You can see here, this is the cathode. Whenever the radiation coming from sample falling onto the cathode, electrons from the cathode will be generated. These are the electrons. Okay, electrons are generated from cathode. Okay, then the liberated electrons attracted and collected by anode. Here, the electrons liberated from cathode, it will move towards the anode. It will move towards anode, means it will be attracted towards anode, and all the electrons will be collected by the anode only. Okay, the flow of electrons produce current. The current produced, this is directly proportional to the intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample. It is the intensity of radiation absorbed. If you measure the intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample, that is directly proportional to the concentration of the sample. Okay, let's see. Here, whenever the radiation falling onto the cathode, okay, photocathode, what will happen? The electrons are generated from the cathode. Okay, the generated electrons will moving towards the anode. Okay, the generated electrons are moving towards anode, means all the electrons will be collected by the anode only, and that's why it is known as collector anode. The movement of electrons, the flow of electrons towards anode generates current. Okay, current. If you measure the current, that is directly proportional to the intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample. Intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample. Okay, if you measure the intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample, that gives that is indicating or that measurement is directly proportional to the concentration of the sample. This is phototube. Okay, phototube. And next one, very important detector. This is most commonly used in UV visible detector. That is photomultiplier tube. Also known as PMT, means P stands for photo, M means multiplier, T means tube. Photomultiplier tube. I will tell you why it is known as photomultiplier. Here, as the name suggests, multiplier. Here electrons are multiplier in each time. I will tell you how. Okay. Here remember, this detector is used in atomic absorption spectroscopy or flame photometry or atomic emission spectroscopy. Okay, these electrode is used. This detector, which is also used in atomic absorption spectroscopy, atomic emission spectroscopy, or flame emission spectroscopy. Let's see the construction and working of photomultiplier tube. Here you can see, and this is the photomultiplier tube. Okay, here this is the evacuated tube. First one, this is the evacuated tube. Okay, inside the tube, what are there? One, it consists one cathode. This is the one cathode. And series of diodes are there. Here this one, all these are diodes. First one is the cathode. One cathode is there. Series of diodes arranged in a series pattern. Okay, the last diode is known as collector anode. Last diode is known as collector anode because it will collect all the electrons. That's why it is known as collector anode. Okay, here you can see here it consists of a tube. It consists one cathode and series of diodes. How many? Mostly 9 to 16 diodes are present in photomultiplier tube. 9 to 16. In some books you can see 10 to 20 diodes. Okay, and you can see then you can see working principle. Okay, whenever the radiation coming from sample, okay, the transmitted radiation coming from sample will fall onto the cathode of photomultiplier tube. Cathode. The radiation fall onto the cathode. Okay, whenever radiation falling onto the cathode, the electrons from cathode will be generated. Okay, whenever transmitted radiation strikes the cathode, the electrons from cathode will be generated. The generated electrons will move towards first diode. This is the first diode. This is second diode, third, fourth, arranged in a pattern like this. Okay, the electrons from cathode will be generated. These will be moving or attracted towards first diode. Here, the electrons from cathode will strikes to the first diode. Okay, strikes to the first diode. Whenever it strikes to the diode, from this diode, more electrons will be produced. After striking to the diode, then more electrons will be produced. Then the more electrons which are coming from first diode, then it will attract towards second diode. Okay, attract towards second diode. Whenever the electrons coming from first diode strike the second diode, from the second diode, some more electrons will be produced. Okay, then from the second diode it will move to the electrons from second diode move to the third diode and fourth diode and fifth, like that pattern. Okay, everywhere what will happen? for every striking, electrons are multiplying in each time. That's why it is known as photomultiplier tube. Okay. Overall, here finally all the electrons are collected. All the electrons are collected by this collector anode. Finally, okay. This process is repeated until all the electrons reaches the collector anode. If you measure the amount of electrons, that gives intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample. Okay, if you measure that intensity of radiation absorbed by the sample, that gives the concentration of the sample. You can see the working principle. The principle is multiply. Here the principle involved in photomultiplier tube is multiplication of photoelectrons by secondary emission of electrons. Multiplication of photoelectrons by secondary emission of electrons. Why secondary emission? Here, whenever radiation hits the or strikes the cathode, electrons are generated, right? These are known as primary electrons. From the primary electrons, we are moving towards first dynode. After primary electrons striking this dynode, some more electrons will be produced from the first dynode. From these electrons are known as secondary electrons. Due to the secondary electrons, here some more electrons will be generated in photomultiplier tube. That's why secondary here photoelectrons by secondary emission of electrode. Multiplication of photoelectrons by secondary emission of electrode. And you can see the pattern. When radiation falls on photocathode, electrons are emitted. These are known as primary electrons. Okay. These emitted electrons attracted towards first dynode and strike to it. These emitted electrons attracted towards first dynode and strike to it. Then this striking causes what will happen? Emission of electrons from the first dynode. Whenever the primary electrons strike the first dynode, it will cause emission of some more electrons from the first dynode. It will be emitted like this. Okay, these electrons are from first dynode. Okay, here these emitted electrons are attracted by a second dynode and strike to it. The electrons which are emitted from the first dynode will be attracted by second dynode and strike to the second dynode. Strike to it. After striking to the second dynode, what will happen? Similar process means some more electrons will be produced, where similar types of electrons emission taking place. This process is repeated. Overall all dynodes present in the photomultiplier tube. Okay, overall all dynodes present in the photomultiplier tube until it reaches the collector anode. Okay, then the number of electrons reaching the collector anode, that gives directly proportional to the intensity of radiation absorbed. If you measure the intensity of radiation, this measurement gives directly proportional to the concentration of sample. The intensity of radiation, that is directly proportional to the concentration of the sample. Okay, then remember each dynode is maintained at 75 to 100 voltage. How much? 75 to 100 voltage. For every striking of electrons, 4 to 5 electrons are emitted. You remember, for every striking of electrons, how many? 4 to 5 electrons are emitted. Overall, 10 to the power of 6 is achieved in photomultiplier tube detector. This is important thing. Okay. Then this is about photomultiplier tube, most commonly used in UV visible spectroscopy. And last detector is photodiode array detector, also known as PDA detector. Here this detector gives 3D spectra. Here by this detector gives 3D spectra is obtained by this detector. 3D dimension means, that is response versus time versus wavelength. Spectra is obtained by photodiode array. This is about UV visible detectors. It is very important topic. Okay. If you like the video, please share this video and please comment. Thank you.